that shit. Karlin made an appearance out of nowhere. And that bitch just remembered Karlin name. Damn. Why the fuck is Karlin coming out today? And Karlin says shit. I ain't even Karlin, but that's what she know me by. And God said that's what we paying attention to. So where the fuck is Karlin at? And Karlin says shit. Why it sound like a bitch name sometimes and sometimes it sound like a man name? I said, I don't know. Maybe you used to know a Carlina. And he like, shit, maybe that's what it is. I said, I don't know what the fuck is going on, baby, but this world is fucking supernova status. And I said, yeah, that bitch is picking up on this shit from years ago. And we all knew what the fuck we was supposed to do. And we really fucked ourselves up. All these motherfuckers that had the inside track about a lot of shit already knew that shit. That one right there, I could do a multitude of things with. And I should have stayed on that pathway, but I decided to fuck myself up and be like, yeah. See? And everybody want to jump around to this one song, the best, and church and these church choirs and stuff. I said, I don't see the worst in me. I said, when all y'all motherfuckers ain't around me, I only don't see the worst in me. Because y'all all trying to make me see some fucked up ass shit. And I said, I only see the good. And I can only see the good. I said, this bitch is taking care of everybody. You know they just got done fucking so-and-so. You know this what other motherfucker over here trying to fuck on her too. And you know this nigga and that's what they used to be doing to you. As you sat on the couch, they want to give you an update about a bitch that you really just left the fuck alone. And you really started to fuck on other bitches. And it was like, yeah, don't I know it? But that bitch is still fucking amazing. And I said, shit, I don't know what that is. But I said, you know what? You're going to be expelling this shit sooner rather than later. And I said, ain't that the truth? I said, there's a multitude of things that go on in these real women's lives that was not born a boy and got these makeshift ass vajayjays that can actually produce children still. Because when they catch it, when they little babies, yeah. Because you would have been a girl, period. And there's no question about it. If you ain't come out a boy, you is going to be a girl. See? And y'all all start out as little girls. And then that chromosome cracks in and everything and start developing shit that's kind of like a spawn. Damn. And God said, ain't that the truth? So even Karlin is saying shit. I was only around for a second. Damn. Why the fuck are you picking up on my energy, bitch? And God said shit. I think we got a message that Karlin don't even want to hear. And Karlin is saying shit. I ain't even around that part of the area no more. And I used to be over there. So how the fuck did you get over there, baby? And what the fuck are you doing to be there? I said, this bitch ain't doing shit. And everybody's saying shit. We know. I said, she just over there trying to live. And everybody act like she a part of some shit that she ain't a part of. And I said, ain't that the truth? So it says, worried about seeing you again in court. So someone here don't ever want to see you in court ever again. But your world is about to be topsy-turvy. Because you don't even know who the fuck that is. And I said, yeah. But that bitch wasn't a part of it. See? And she really was just coming to... She was dealing with major. But when they came through, they was the most amazing person when she was around. And I said, yeah, because that's a she. I said, we only got a she here. And they said, yeah. What about that other she? And that other she tried to act like she had a sex change and all that other shit. And I said, yeah, nobody want to be who they supposed to be. But when you find somebody that want to be who she's supposed to be, then you got to represent the essence of what she is. See? And ain't this water okay kind of fucked up, boo? And you gonna just let the water be? And God says, shit, the water can't get no higher. And God said, ain't that the truth? It says a high self-connected masculine is here. So even in the essence of Karlin, he says, shit, what up, G? But he don't even talk to her like that. He be looking at her like, how you doing? He be feeling real confused and shit. He be like, I don't know what the fuck to say. And I said, shit, everybody want to talk about you right now, but shit, you really got on mama outfit, bitch. And why the fuck you dressing like mama? And I said, we all know. I said, y'all better find mama or see, check on mama or see where she at. And everybody says, shit, we don't know, baby. We don't know where mama at. And I said, yeah. So y'all don't know where she at. She just out here. And they like, yeah, Fifi looking for mama now. I don't know why she looking for mama all of a sudden, but God be really fucking up Fifi on the low. And Fifi says, shit. Even mama said, let me get the fuck up out of here because I don't know why she looking for me. And God said, ain't that the truth? It says a niece is here. So you don't want to tell people that shit. Your niece may not be that far away. And they always trying to what? Spill some stuff, make people feel like this and make people feel like it's raining on the inside. See? And God says, you know what? It ain't even get to where they want it to go. And that'd be fucked up that these niggas want to sit up here and drip shit over here and drip shit over there and act like, yeah, y'all ain't dripping shit. And that's they truth. Yeah, it says ego driven knowing you are disappointed. So a lot of people already know that you don't feel amazing. See? And you doing the bare minimum. And you really is not even a state of your feelings, but you in a state of other people's feelings. And everybody is saying, don't we know it? But you stand 10 toes down with yourself. And as long as you stand 10 toes down with you, you don't give a fuck about everything else. Because you got to stay fully aware of you. And they know that. Yeah, it says a conservative dresser is here. So a lot of people would like this and a lot of people would like that, but shit, we need to get this and we need to get that. And I said, yeah, we got to prepare for this. And you know what? That'd be better for them not to have to worry about this and worry about that. I can overstand this. And God said, ain't that the truth? So you don't want to tell people that shit. If that bitch leave, we ain't going to be around these parts at all. And everybody gonna be trying to figure out where a bitch going. But y'all don't even know where a bitch gonna go. And God said, ain't that the truth? The Three of Swords energy is here coming out with the Five of Pentacles. So there's a lot of disappointment and a lot of loss and a lot of sadness and a lot of Five of Pentacles energy. And we don't know what to do, but there's some good things that's a coming. And even Karlin saying, shit, I really could have told y'all brutal truth right then and there that would have made so much better. I could have told y'all found each other. And this wasn't a good thing. Because that bitch daddy used to fuck on everything that was moving around. And you ain't want to tell nobody's brutal truth. And you really hid it. And that's why you couldn't even what? Face nobody no more. You said, shit, her daddy used to fuck up your mama. And you don't even know that your mama used to fuck up her daddy. And her daddy went over there and did some other shit to another nigga. And that other nigga did some shit to this nigga. And this nigga and all this other shit. And you know what? They don't give a fuck about you. But you ain't a stupid ass bitch, but you need to get the fuck up out of here, boo. And stop fucking with these niggas. And that's what you didn't say years ago. You let all this transpire and you never told nobody nothing. See? And you fucked up. Because God said, you know what? I gave you a message. Tell her to leave now. Tell her to leave and never come back. But you ain't tell her to leave and never come back. You just made a toxic ass environment and said, yeah, she gonna never come back to here ever again. And that's what happened. See? You awakened the awakened that was unawakened to a lot of shit. And God said you can't even tell nobody their story no more. Because you don't even have true story the way that you used to have true story. And true story says shit. I can't even fuck her up. But I said I told you that was a real vajayjay. And all these other vajayjays we been fucking ain't real. And you and True Story sat there and said, yeah, let both of us get some ginseng, get some green tea, get some of this and get some of that, and start taking it. Because y'all pee shouldn't even be that little. But when y'all fuck with a real motherfucking woman, shit, they know how to grab onto it. And they be talking about we got little ones. I said, no, that shit that y'all got, you can just drive up in it, bitch. What kind of shit is that? You gotta drive up in, coochie hoe. Talking about my shit little. I said, I know somebody who can feel it. Don't let me sit up here and say the name, bitch. And that's what the fuck y'all used to argue about all the time. I said, you got one of them drive up in coochies. We can get a stretch limousine up in there, a fire department up in there, your whole goddamn wasteland coochie family and shit. All y'all ain't got real coochies. And you said, how would you know? Because Karlin done fucked on the whole goddamn family. And Karlin said, yeah, I was just seeing and making sure, baby, that you wasn't that no more. But Karlin already knew that that bitch wasn't that. And he like, yeah, that was a real one. I was just triple checking, baby. Now get your ass up out of here. Matter of fact, let me take you back to where you came from. And that bitch was like, you know what? Fuck you, Karlin. And Karlin said, yeah, she'll never love me again. And that's what he wanted. He didn't want her to see him in the essence of being high vibrational. She wanted her vision of him to be super fucked up. And that's what started to happen. She was like, yeah, I can't even say hello to you no more. I can't even look at you no more. And Karlin like, yeah. Now I want her to really look at me, but she ain't looking at me. And I said, shit, she looking past you now, Karlin. And Karlin like, yeah. How you know? Because they've been spying on Karlin for years too. I said, Karlin, they know you. And Karlin said, you know what? Whatever the fuck they doing right now, this shit is irritating the shit out of me. So I don't want to look at shit. I don't want to think shit. I don't want to know nothing. And that's what Karlin been doing for years. He said, y'all will never get shit from me ever again. And God said, ain't that the truth? So someone here loves to sit up here and smear shit on people's faces. And he like, yeah, that is kind of disrespectful after you sit up here and put your makeup together and all this other stuff and everything. All of a sudden somebody gets something on your face. I said, Karlin, you know she almost killed you that day. I said, yeah, she did. But she still was loving me, and I ain't like that afterwards. I said, what can I do to fuck up the perception of how this bitch is looking at me? I said, Karlin, she ain't even looking for you no more. And Karlin said, I know. See? It says a job offer is coming, take it. So even though you really look fucked up now, and you don't look the same, and you like, shit, I don't know what the fuck that is either. One minute I'm okay, next minute I feel like, you know what, I've been in the sewer and I don't know what the hell it is. And God says, shit, It ain't the water. Or is it? A lot of things have been not working as much as it should have been working. And a lot of these water companies really need to get it together. And they like, yeah, because they fucking up the water, boo. And they act like they not, but they are. See? And even in the essence of smart water, it's saying, shit, we ain't gonna be that good, but we'll be better now. Fuck you, bitch. But fuck this smart water too. And God said ain't shit smart about it. And they know that too. It says the people that died with Jesus was never supposed to die. It says their murderers are about to pay. So a lot of people is always trying to check up on people and see what the fuck people is doing and all this other stuff. But this nigga says shit. I ain't doing nothing. Stop trying to check up on me. I don't want to be checked on no more. And God said, that's what you need to know. It says he never thought he would be with you in a million years. So there's a lot of people that don't want people to know that shit. You with Michael right now. And Michael is looking like shit. Slow down. I just want to get to know you. But don't turn around. Because that pretty round thing look good to me. And I said, you know what? That nigga used to love that song with his wife. And I said, yeah, we know that nigga too. And that nigga said, shit, they didn't know this nigga before that bitch started putting his ass out on the street. And they like, damn, nigga, she put you out again. They like, yeah, but I'm getting to know so many people over here. And I said, every time she put me out, I gotta act like I ain't got nowhere to go. But this nigga was getting, okay, all kind of doors open and be like, come on over here. And that nigga be up in there chilling and chillaxing and everything. He like, shit. Even Troy couldn't hold that nigga that long. And Troy said, shit, I ain't know that nigga then. But now he knows that nigga now. And I said, you know what? There's a reason why everybody starts to know everybody and say, you know what? Yeah, these are all the losers over here that lost out on something amazing. And they like, yeah, I think we'll be sitting up here talking to each other for the next 20 million years. And I said, yeah, I think so too. It says, looking for you right now, your future husband. So you don't want to tell nobody that shit. Karlin ain't even all that. But Karlin had a certain type of spark in his body that really sparked something in someone else. And when these Karlins out here has that certain type of spark and shit, and he realized that he ain't got the spark no more, and where the fuck I'm at, boo? And how the fuck did I get here? And what the fuck happened? And where? Why we ain't in BC no more? And that's what all these niggas is doing. These niggas will come through 1 second and be like, why this going on? And then they go back to wherever the fuck they came from before. See? It ain't even crack, boo. It ain't even methamphetamine. It ain't even okay, the pipe or none of that. See? It's just fucking on niggas that say what? They don't want you to ever come back. They want you to stay lost. And that's what these goddamn transgender women are out here doing to men right now. See? They putting it in they maid shift as for JJs. And they ain't even paying attention. See? Every time this nigga come back for a second, then he lose it. But what about the women? Shit, the women said, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm staying 10 toes down with myself. And God said, y'all need to stop going up in this shit that y'all don't even know what y'all going in. And God said, that's what you need to know. There's so many things that come from the piping and the areas and the walls of the, you know what, shit that's around us. But if you take a look at yourself and realize that shit, You trying to stay you as much as possible. And that's what they know. See, if people really take a look at themselves and be like, you know what, we shouldn't be here like this. This should have never happened the way that it's happening, and they know that too. See? So let's make new memories is here. It says hiding from you during the day and exposed you at night. And that's what you need to know. A lot of people don't even want you to see their true self. They only want you to see the fake image of them, but the fake image can't even work no more. And they know that. And God's saying, ain't that the truth? So there's so many things that Karlin used to use all the time. Karlin lips used to get dried in the motherfucker. And Karlin says shit. Confirmation. Karlin says, you know what? I use chapstick all the time on my lips. Karlin used to keep chapstick all the time. Because you know what? Even after you've been drinking this and drinking that and drinking this shit, a lot of shit will what? Dry up again. And it shouldn't dry up like that, but shit, baby. You taking this, you taking that, you taking a lot of shit. So take care of yourself even further. And God said this bitch don't even want another hit of shit no more. And God said, you know what? It wasn't even you. It was other people that surround you. And God said, you know what? It ain't even them either. And they're like, shit, let them know, Grandma. And God said, ain't that the truth? See? This nigga knows that Grandma ain't that far. And sometimes Grandma go out in the middle of the night, be doing whatever she want to do. And then Grandma come back and be like, shit, why the fuck is the TV off again, boo? And who the fuck turning off the TV in the middle of the night? See? And God say, you know what? Whoever the fuck is coming in and out of this apartment ain't even supposed to be in here. And they like, shit, let me see what I can not do to in the middle of the night. Because that be throwing people the fuck off. And God said, ain't that the truth? So it says, you never cared about anyone but yourself. You will feel regret soon. And I don't know why my lips is peeling like crazy now, but that's what's going on. So whoever this niece is, you may feel feelings about this niece or feel remorseful about a niece because you ain't give her what she needed or you didn't tap in and you didn't cash app or some shit like that. But God say, you know what? It's time for all y'all to move back, okay? And move back to where? I said, is it move back to here, move back to there? Shit, where do I gotta go back to? And that's what irritates me too. I just gotta let y'all know that's what be pissing me off too. I'd be like, move back. Like, what the fuck? I grew up in that over west at the Hearing Hornets and shit. I lived off of 64th and Oakley in the IL2. I lived off of Kings Drive too. Fuck you, man. Shit, I was in them parks where the seesaws was at too. Shit, where do I supposed to go? I was over East St. Paul in the Dayton Bluff area and shit, and that shit over there went downhill when I went back for a second. Even Phoenix grocery store said, shit, I don't want to be here no more. Blow my ass up, whatever the fuck y'all go do, for real, for real. And God said, ain't that the truth? So we don't know, but we got to try something different. Because even me, I've been all over the state of fucking Minnesota and Duluth. I drove across that bridge going into Duluth. I said, what the fuck is this? Like they literally want people to what? Dive over the motherfucking bridge. And your ass gotta really get sober if you fucked up. You like, shit. Even if it's icy, nigga. Nobody should have a bridge like that nowhere. And they already know that. See? They should have made that wider and everything. And they like, yeah. Because you know what? You could sue the motherfucking government for making some shit like that, knowing damn well that's not safe. You ain't even got room to slide into nothing. If you slide, nigga, that's it. Say go slow. And everybody be like, shit, we gonna go 1 mile an hour. Fuck that. We just gonna let the car roll. Put it in neutral, baby. And that's what Karlin do. Karlin knows how to ride his ass off. And Karlin says, shit, don't I know it? And that's his truth. It says your neighbors have to pay for everything. This is a family business. So a lot of y'all, which I have just recognized in the last several years of me being in the state of Minnesota, that a lot of people is living in these family buildings, and they don't even want to tell you that they are all family. And now these properties are being investigated and saying, you know what? I need to know all the people who are not family that you're providing okay housing to. And some companies will hand over one person and that's it. So if you got family all around you, it shouldn't be that them trying to harass you, taunt you, fuck you up out of nowhere. Okay, even if they is all family and you the only one that's a real resident, see, and they know that too, that they shouldn't be doing what they doing, and they act like they can't all go to jail, but they will. See, because this is your wife's family, and you didn't want to tell people that shit. Don't move over there, because they'll all come out in droves, and they don't give a fuck about occupancy and all this other shit. And I said, how the fuck you know about that, boo? How the fuck would she not know? I guess you ain't been around enough. I guess you ain't analyzed that people do know some shit. And Karlin always want to act like he fucks with stupid bitches. I said, she don't even know Karlin's resume. And Karlin said, ain't that the truth? So jail time now. And that's what y'all don't even know. A lot of people are saying, shit, I never thought that I would be doing this in a million years, but shit, I'm going to have to come and arrest you and arrest everybody else pretty soon. But I already know that one bitch wasn't a part of shit. See? And even years ago, that one officer said, shit, I don't even know why I'm here trying to get this bitch to do nothing. A lot of y'all will start working on a bitch from years down the line. Y'all will wait 10, 20 years when a bitch is tired and wore out and be like, fuck it. But me, I ain't gonna be that damn tired. And literally, if the doctor say I'm gonna die tomorrow, I'm gonna be doing the same thing and just die. I ain't finna sit up here and risk my life. I ain't finna be doing nothing crazy for a piece of change. I ain't finna sit up here and bring me all the damn drugs. Why the fuck would I want to go out like that? You think I got to this point in my life that I want to go out a dope head, bitch? Get your stupid ass up out of here. And that's what Karlin told you, nigga. You want to sit up here and throw some shit in Karlin's face and was like, yeah, now what you gonna do? I guess you can't go back to your little precious, okay, paradise box. And you really fucked up Karlin's life. And Karlin says, shit, I'm still good, baby. I'm still gonna ride out with me. And I'm still gonna do the same motherfucking thing. This shit ain't gonna stop. And I said, exactly. See? I said, this is how we do it. When you're high vibrational beings, but this bitch said high self-connected masculines. It don't matter the status quo, bitch. And you act like what? We weak in the mind? I said, nigga, I still feel strong. So I don't know what the fuck that is. But thank you for not letting me know shit. And God said, ain't that the truth? Give me this goddamn paper. This bitch want to sit up here and give me some shit and like, yeah, that's your results. But that was her results. Can we talk about it, Karlin? Karlin said, shit. I ain't fuck with that bitch lately. And I just fuck with that one. And I said, yeah, I don't know who all these damn babies by, but shit, ain't none of them babies mine. But I'll be here. And I love on their ass just like I love on any other okay people's kids. And Karlin said, ain't that the truth? It's time for everybody to transcend because Karlin is not who the fuck y'all think Karlin is. And Karlin been trying to tell y'all that shit. I ain't a part of shit. And that bitch ain't a part of shit. And this nigga ain't a part of shit. And that bitch over there ain't a part of shit. But they really tried to act like we was the motherfucking mafia out here, boo. And we ain't got no money. I said, shit, if we was the mafia, Barry would be the motherfucking head of this shit. Barry be like, shit, I can do some grimy shit on the low, bitch. And Barry be like, ain't that the truth? Karlin said, man, you really fucked up with sis. You know that, right? He was like, yeah, but I see that bitch and that bitch looking at me and I'm looking at that bitch and that bitch says, you know what? You got me fucked up, Carl. And Carl said, shit, I know. Fuck you mean. And God said, ain't that the truth? So a stand-up good company is here. So a lot of y'all don't even know what the fuck to say, but shit, let's see what we can do. I said, I don't even know who the fuck that bitch is that's talking all goddamn day, bumping her gums, doing the same shit, and you need some chapstick. Because Karlin always putting chapstick on his lips, bitch, since you think you know my husband. And I did try to throw a paper at that nigga and act like, yeah, now your life is over. And that nigga said, shit, my life just beginning. So thank you for telling me nothing, ho. And Karlin said, shit. Should we tell that bitch her resume? I said, this bitch done been to the doctor about 80 million times and her resume is looking like A++, bitch. See? And even that North Memorial said, I don't know what the fuck this is, but shit, something was there, but it ain't there. But why would it be gone? I said, stop dancing to this fucking song, children. Let's put on something that we can dance to. And I said, what is Karlin's favorite song, Fifi? I said, God ain't gave it to her yet, but I don't think his bands will make him dance, though. But Karlin had a favorite song that he always was dancing to. And Karlin said, shit, why you know that one nigga favorite song and he don't like that song? And I said, shit, why she looking all good on his video talking about him? I said, but she don't want me. And Karlin said, shit, she don't want me either, right? I don't think she want me either, right? The Three of Cups energy is here. So a lot of people are saying, look, three's a crowd, bitch. And I don't know who the fuck you is, and I don't know what the fuck is going on, and even my motherfucking so-called Dean baby mama is looking like shit. We stole all these kids. Ain't none of these kids ours. Oh, she having another baby today. I said, Karlin, you ain't had no kids yet. He said, shit. But I'm really prepared to pop something and something else since you ovulating, bitch. I said, this bitch is ovulating today. And all these niggas gonna come out of nowhere. And Karlin says, shit, if I pop one up in there, fuck you mean. I ain't gonna be a hoe out here in these streets because that wouldn't have killed my ass. And that nigga wouldn't dare be able to roam around and fuck the way he is. I said, nigga, where your wife at? He's like, she at home? Okay. And she popped the fuck up when she figured out that somebody else was there. And I said, yeah, she don't want Karlin no more, boo. Calm down. And that bitch didn't even want Karlin no more. And I said, yeah, whenever I come over here, she be out of her goddamn mind. I said, it's catastrophic that these karmics will try to keep a hold of a nigga to keep them from what? Experiencing soulmate love. He like, shit, don't I know it? I said, I shouldn't have never ever been over there. And bitch, you ain't my type. And that's what I be thinking all goddamn night. I said, you ain't my type. Should I make a song like that, Barry? You ain't my type. Why did I do that? I said, Barry started, but okay, I'm getting some motherfucking okay bars over these hymns and shit, nigga. You'd be like, you ain't my type. Why did I do that? I said, no, Barry, you got to get a little bit more hood, nigga. He said, 12:12 on the clock. You ain't my type. Fuck, why did I do that? No, Barry, you ain't getting it, Barry. And Barry said, I ain't got enough hood in me, but I can do some grimy shit, so fuck you, boo. And God said, ain't that the truth? Seven of Cups energy is here a bad one. I said, shit. The more confused this bitch get, the more she be sitting up here, okay, looking at y'all motherfucking asses and be like, shit, we could have been made a meal, bitch. Shit, you ain't my type. We all know that. And God said, don't we know it? I said, she keep on licking her lips. She gonna look like Fifi that look like from Snowfall and shit. Be like, damn. You look like a crackhead today. And Fifi said, oh well. I know what I can look like. And God said, ain't that the truth? So it says he sprayed perfume on your chocolate and tried to hide it. So this nigga don't even want to eat this shit no more. After he done set up here and fucked up everything. I said, why you fucking up everything, little nigga? And that little nigga said, shit, I don't know. But whatever the fuck is on that shit, I can't eat it no more. And God said, ain't that the truth? I said, somebody been sitting up here munching on a lot of shit. And I said, how the fuck you got the munchies out of nowhere? He said, shit, I think somebody who was in this area in space had the munchies before. And God said, shit, all y'all so spiritually connected that y'all don't even understand what's going on right now. And y'all never really paid attention to it, but shit, even these butterfingers are saying, hey, Fifi, come eat all of us. But even these motherfucking but was it Baby Ruths? Fifi don't really like Baby Ruths like that. And Baby Ruth said, I can get up in there too, bitch. Fuck you. But Fifi loved butterfingers. And even that one beat of butterfinger that wasn't okay kind of threaded out. She said, you know what, bitch, you get on my damn nerves. And even Karlin said, shit, save all the Baby Ruths for me, baby. I eat them. Because I eat Baby Ruths. You got Baby Ruths, bitch? Go ahead, save them for me, boo. You must got that bag that got the crunch and the butterfinger and the Baby Ruths and everything. Damn. I don't fuck with you like that, but you got my Baby Ruths over there. Let me see if I can see your ass somewhere and bump into you and get all them damn Baby Ruths, bitch. And even Karlin said, you know what? How you doing, baby? I wouldn't even talk to you like that if I was in your face. And Karlin knows that. Karlin can't get no motherfucking, you know what, oomph in his body when he real close to a bitch, okay? Karlin be like, shit, that's love right there. How you doing? How you doing? That's all the fuck Karlin gotta say. I'm fine. And then he be like, shit. Damn. Fucking stupid ass nigga. And you are. And mama be sitting up there like, yeah, this is better than a TV show. I don't even want to watch the Lives of Atlanta and shit. I just come out here and watch Karlin go cuckoo crazy over this shit. I said, bitch, give me a motherfucking Bud Light with a lime. Because that's what I drink, bitch, a Bud Light with a lime. Put a twist on that shit. And I said, Fifi think I stopped drinking hard liquor, but I don't want her to know I've been sitting up here fucking it up, fucking it up. And God said, ain't that the truth? So it says, admiring you from afar. So even Fifi needs to know that shit. Whatever the fuck is absorbed in your face and your skin and everything ain't gonna fuck you up. But you like, you know what? I don't want none of this shit in me. And God said, ain't that the truth? So whoever finna get ready to go to jail, even Karlin saying, shit, don't take my baby, baby. Take the other niggas. And that's what Karlin said while he was face down on the floor the other day. He said, shit, my niecey is my only one. The rest of them, you could take them all. And he said, God damn, it's been years and all these niggas is grown. And I said, ain't that the truth? I said, I can see the best in you. And your forehead is so fucking big, bitch. Put the braids down too. The best. And that's what Karlin be joking, okay? Fifi got a big forehead. And Fifi said, and I know it. And do you think I give a fuck, nigga? Shit. Because Karlin said I'd kiss all on that forehead, baby. I'll make sure I kiss it all over the place. Kissing on you. This nigga be singing out of nowhere. And I said, Karlin, you acting like Pippin from back in the day. And Pippin saying shit. Karlin ain't got shit on me. And Pippin said shit. We all in Chirac now, bitch. And you late. And then you finna come to the IL. Even Karlin said shit. Don't be on 64th. Cause you on 64th, that's my hood. Now Karlin want to be all hard and shit, and he want to stop dancing. He want to stand like this and be like, bands don't make his ass dance. And God said, we got to figure out Karlin's song from back in the day. Because that shit used to make him dance all the time. So if y'all know Karlin's favorite song, put it in the comment section. Because y'all know these Karlins out here. And Karlin says, shit, don't turn that song on, boo. Because that's his shit. And he be like, hopping around and shit, can't stop hopping. That nigga hop everywhere. And he'll be hopping to the stove, getting that same damn bottle of liquor and be like, yeah, I don't drink that no more. But maybe I need to go back and get the old school shit. Maybe you do. And Karlin says, shit, I ain't really an alcoholic, but shit, if you an alcoholic, everybody be like, shit, that nigga fucked up. And they don't even want to fuck with Karlin, see? You don't even want to get on the 95th and Dan Ryan right now. You like, shit, don't fuck with that over there. And they be like, nigga, I got to take this every day to work, and you telling me not to fuck with it? I said, shit. Some of these niggas that be drinking and smoking all goddamn day, they'll sit up here and tell you one line, and you will remember that shit all goddamn day of your life. And I said, ain't that the truth? Karlin. 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 I said, sometimes it sounds like a bitch, and sometimes it sounds like a man. I said, but maybe Karlin got like a bitch made energy in him. And he be like, shit, never that. Karlin said, I don't be no bitch for nobody, baby. And Karlin said, ain't that the truth? I said, you don't know me like that, and I don't like the fact that you picking up on my motherfucking energy. But what's up, baby? Spiders grow. And you need some motherfucking lip gloss on or something and shit. And even Michi said, shit, I told you to stop being so dry, bitch. Why you ain't got no motherfucking lip gloss on? I said, Michi, fuck you. And where your motherfucking Ain't Paradise box at? Michi said, I got a hole in my body now that I can't even deal with this shit. And then they want babies to come out of here, blood to come out of here and shit. I said, what the fuck is this hole, bitch? I said, plug this shit up. I don't want this no more. And Michi said, I'm a nigga for life. And that's all I got to tell everybody here, too. Give me 18 bitches and they ain't getting it on, and these niggas is looking at me like, what the fuck is going on? I said, you a bitch, nigga. And that nigga said, stop trying to get in my paradise box. Because Michi was trying to lick on mama, and mama said, I don't want to lick. I don't want to lick. And I said, ain't that the truth? What's in the mind? The Eight of Swords energy is here, a good one. And that's what y'all need to know, boo. So y'all got a lot of shit that y'all can work with, and everybody's looking like shit. Ain't that the truth? And them damn chocolates and everything, boo, save me a baby root. And I'll come through and not talk to you and be looking at you in your face and staring at you and act like I don't know that shit. You was the best of me. Shut up, mama. When nobody was around, we was vibing out, just me and you. And that shit really got so serious, we said, let's go upstairs and see what we can do. And I said, yeah, it was just me and you, baby, nobody else. And that shit was fucking amazing. I said, God damn. Karlin be in church. Shit. God damn. The best. The best. And Karlin be crying and shit at church. I'll be like, nigga, you would never get back to your soulmate, huh? He like, ain't that the truth, shit? And that's what a lot of these niggas in church be doing. See? They be sad. And that one bitch said, you know what? You shouldn't be up in this church because you belong to Bethesda. That's a Bethesda member, and she here praising the Lord here. How y'all gonna sit up here and can't tell people where to go to praise the Lord, niggas? You gotta be invited. You gotta let us know you coming so we can introduce you. I said, y'all really then fucked up God and everything else, nigga. Y'all big-headed ass niggas always fucking up shit. And Karlin says shit. the big the big-headed ass family is coming through. And that's what Karlin be thinking. Karlin says shit. Fifi head may be big in the front, but it ain't big all around. And I said, that matters, boo. And that's somebody's truth. What's in the mind? Missing the way you look at me. So someone here is literally looking like shit. She ain't looking at nobody like y'all amazing no more. And I said shit. And that's kind of fucked up when y'all want these not heavy hitters, but these motherfuckers that really used to be love coming through. And now they looking like shit. I ain't looking for you. And I know Karlin ain't looking for you, because Karlin is looking at Michi every night and giving Michi a kiss and saying, you know what? I don't know how I got here, but I want to be your lover man. And then it'd be like, Mr. Lover, lover. And that's they shit. I said, Mr. Boombastic, and that's some shit that y'all don't even understand. And I said, shit, these niggas really flipped the script. I said, I thought you was over there fucking that nigga, and I thought you was not over here doing this, and how the fuck y'all got together and everybody else ain't here? I said, this shit was really spooky. But that's how the shit can go down when God was putting their hands on two people and say, you know what? We should have got married right then and there. And we really was talking about getting married right away. And Karlin saying that was true. See? And that was kind of fucked up. And Karlin looking like, you know what? I don't know what to tell you, boo, but shit, I don't know. Are you looking at me? Are you sitting up here sniffing around me? Are you trying to pee around me or some shit? Because I think you got a motherfucking, okay, penis now. And that's what I got to tell that bitch. You got a pee-pee. I ain't never fuck you. And Karlin is pissed. And I said, yeah, Karlin must be missing that nigga. Every time he turn around, he be like, what the fuck you on here? Sit your ass down. Get off that counter, bitch. Don't be talking to people. Why you look, oh, you look fucked up today? Oh, poor baby looking fucked up. But you gonna get it together again and then be pissed. And God says, shit, Karlin don't like this bitch doing whatever the fuck she wanna do when she wanna do it. And Karlin saying shit. That's what I gotta tell this nigga. And this nigga think I ain't gonna come through to fuck her up. You fucking her up too, Karlin, huh? And you like, yeah, I am. Is she dead yet? But Karlin wouldn't want you to die. Cause Karlin saying shit. Can I come and hold you, baby? I ain't fucking on Michi no more. And that was a moment in back in time, and I don't know where the fuck we was fucking at, but I said I think I seen that too. Michi, stop trying to fuck on me, and Michi said, nigga, I ain't fucking on you. But that other nigga was. And I think he wet your ass up to set you up, and Karlin said, shit, I'm tired of dancing. Keep on dancing the night away. I said, ain't that the truth? Y'all need to stop walking up in these Caucasian bars thinking that they not finna fuck your ass up. But Karlin used to love to dance to that one song. And Mama said, shit, let me put it out there so she'll know. And God said, one day we'll put it on the show. Take care.